I had a chance on Christmas Day to hear some of the most remarkable singing and to visit a really beautiful church, Corpus Christi in Cozumel. I had come down on December 15th, but even prior to that, I had dropped in on a Caribbean cruise a short while before to meet Blanquita TORRES and her husband Guadalupe, who run the Apartamentos Blanquitas, where I'm staying. And while I was there, I had a chance to hear one of their daughters, LUPITA, sing. I was absolutely stunned. She's a slight girl in her early 20s. The family is very religious, and they're just the nicest people that you could ever meet. They were recommended to me by Mark Meisner, a painter who's been here many times, and he said it's the best place to stay because they're the best people in Cozumel, and they are. And they're very warm, and they always make you feel at home. But hearing their daughter sing, I was floored. I mean, her voice was of operatic quality. I found out later that both she and her sister Cristina had the same quality voices. And when Luciano Pavarotti had heard them, he used to winter here before he died, heard them singing in church, he took them aside and said, I must take you aside and coach you with the voices that you have. So they spent some time with him, and their voices began to develop even more beyond their initial state. So when David and Sharon, two guests here, they grabbed me to the side and said, you know, Lupita and Cristina are going to be singing at the 12 o'clock Christmas Mass at Corpus Christi, I took a cab there and I got into the back row, and what you're seeing now is the inside of the church, which is quite beautiful. It's a new church. Most of Cozumel is brand new. It's maybe 50 years old at the most, you know. It was an old fishing village. And it's very eerie, and the sound is great inside the church. And I just started to photograph the church while the girls were warming up. There's only two of them in the choir, and you can hear them in the background now. And after a while, I'm going to stop speaking and let you hear them, because that I tried to record as much of the Mass as I could when they were singing. And this is all you warm up now. They're trying to get into harmony with one another. They don't sing professionally. They just have these enormously gifted voices. And I can tell you that in listening to them during the Mass, I was an old altar boy, but I've fallen away in my ways. I'm not a religious person any longer, but I am highly spiritual. And to hear them singing in this beautiful church and their voices, and it just brought me to tears several times. So it was a wonderful experience. I can't think of anything that could possibly be better. What was even nicer is, as I was taking these pictures, I saw the priest approach me, and from my old altar boy days, I was always a little bit wary of the priest, you know. I always figured they were going to tell me, put the camera away, you know. But he was so warm, he reminded me of my two uncles who just died recently, who were also parish priests. And he had the same warm, funny, generous way about him, and he wished me a Merry Christmas in English. It was so nice. It almost brought me to tears then. Brought back all of those memories of my uncle. So I felt free to sit in the back, and there's another resident of Apartamentos Blanquita right in front of us there. A farmer who found the way to come down to the tropics for south, and then kept going further south every winter. And he finally wound up here. He's a very nice guy. And so anyway, they're just kind of warming up here, and there were several other people from the Apartamentos. They're mostly people who I find extremely interesting. They're either highly spiritual or unusual, or have odd ways about them that I like very much. And there's lots of artists here too, musicians, see? So it's a very inexpensive place, very warm, very clean. I would recommend it to anybody who's an artist who would like to come to Cozumel. You're about a block from the bay, which is a little crazy, you know, because it caters to the cruise ship crowd. And it's just one gigantic swooping in of potential customers and then kind of blowing them back out to the ships like Jonah and the whale. So I try to avoid that, except when it's in the evening when all the ships are either gone or they're closed up and the shops are closed up. It's pretty frantic. But back a couple of blocks, it's Mexico, as I've always known it. I've lived in several areas of Mexico. I have a house in Alamos, Sonora with Joe Natalie. And even though Cozumel is a bit touristy up by the waterfront, as soon as you get back, like I say, it turns into Mexico again with its wonderful, warm people and its easy ways. Anyway, the Mass is about to start. I'm just going to shut up, and if you like good music, I invite you to listen to LUPITA and CRISTINA sing the Mass. You'll hear some responses from the people. It's a wonderful, wonderful, warm Mass. You move me tremendously. So listen and take a little taste of Mexico with you.
you.